starting a kind of a vlog-esque journal, diary, documentation, uh, whatever this is called, whatever you would like to call this. You can label it whatever you want. So just kind of like stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't really like being on camera ever at all, but I'll try to do it like once a day, maybe like take a video of something that I'm doing or something along those lines. I have no idea, but it's something entertaining to do and fun to do, and I actually do like video editing. It's really fun. I've done like game PvP videos, and I really had a good time creating them. Anyway, there's a few things, or mainly one thing I wanted to talk about today to kind of like start off things, because it's always a good thing to keep, not necessarily in mind, but it's a good thing to keep as a point of reflection, okay? Something to mirror off of. And that's talking about like virtues or doing good, or let's say doing something for the intent of somebody else, being selfless, okay? There's a few things that come about when you're talking about that. One could be sorry, I just got fucking distracted by my finger, dude. Do you do things for yourself, or are you really doing it for somebody else? You know, let's say for instance somebody like who's homeless, okay? You give them money while you're passing down on the street. Do you think beforehand like, oh, I should do this to be a good person? Are you labeling as that, as like, we are giving this to him because it is the good thing to do, it is the right thing to do, okay? You need to see, like, if you do put good out in the world, obviously it will come back to you, but like there's a very rational or maybe grounded way of why that is because, you know, when you're helping other people, and if you're dependable and you're reliable and you're a good friend, okay, or a good classmate, or a good parent, or whatever you want to think is good, but pretty much you are taking responsibility, or you're being just helpful in general, you know, people are more inclined to help you out when you need something, or they're more inclined to think of you in a good light. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not always like you put, it's karma and it's coming back and like shit like that. Like, it's a very nice way to put it if you want to, but you know, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes there's a very rational thing on why some things are the way that they are. We can say it's part of a divine order, and if it is, then fine, but like this is going with like virtue. It is and it isn't. Like, that's like the duality concept of it. Everything is and isn't at the same time. Everything is yes and no. Everything is black and white. Like, you have to have like a balance in a sense. Anyway, talking about like virtues and shit, like, do you do things in the intent, in the, oh yeah, sorry, in my chest is like itchy. I've been going to like the beach a lot, and there were like, we had like a west wind, so the west wind is coming off of the bay, and it always brings like fucking black-headed flies and stuff, and they bite. It sucks, but that just means like we're probably gonna get like thunderstorms or something. Hopefully. It's been like really hot here. I live at the beach. Anyway, or near the shore, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, going back to like virtues. I'm trying to stay on target. Is a virtue by itself, or is a virtue because we think it's like good? It is the virtue, it is the goodness, it is the grace, or whatever you want to call it. A lot of this is stemming off of Alan Watts. I listened to a lecture of his, and I actually want to kind of like add my 2 cents, my kind of like thought process to it. But pretty much what it comes down to is like, things are just good in the moment or in the situation, And then some things like people do to make themselves feel better, they think that they're going to get something out of it, or like fundamental, like underlying shit, like, hey, I'm going to help all these people because it's going to make me, look like a good person to other people. And that's, is that really a selfless act, or is that a selfish act? I mean, you want fame, you want attention. That's selfish, you desire it. You can't you can't desire to have no desire, because then you're just desiring it, like it's a circle. You just kind of like let it be. Just like, don't desire shit. You don't have to like desire nothing, like everything in moderation, even moderation. So pretty much what this is coming down to, the focal point, if you've been listening, is don't question why, if what you're doing is the right thing or the wrong thing or the good thing or the bad thing. Things are going to happen regardless on how you observe it. You're forming your own opinion. I'm sorry, my phone's going off, but just keep going, progress. We all want to improve ourselves, or you would hope that you would want to improve yourself in one way, whether it be like social standing, money, material gain, knowledge, spirituality, whatever, video games, whatever the fuck you want to do. Everyone wants to improve in a way. No one really wants to like descend. But the thing is, like, once you if you keep striving to like more, most of the time you're gonna make a lot of bad decisions. Or you're going to make a lot of decisions that might be setbacks, because like what we know now is not what we're going to know in the future. So take what we know now as a grain of salt as well, because like our truth changes, our thoughts change, what we think changes, the world changes, we change, like just consistently through time. So trying to force it can lead down probably like some bad paths, or it can even lead down to some struggles that you're going to have to face, realize, and then move past it, so you don't make those, have hindsight, So, pretty basic, very fundamental, like pretty fundamental. Is a virtue a virtue because we call it that? Most likely they're not. It's not like a virtue. It's a selfish desire, and it is what it is. But just do what you feel, or just do what you're going to do, as long as you're not going to hurt anybody, not step over anybody. And most of the time it's probably going to be like somewhat the right decision, or it's going to have the least negative impact, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's it. 7 minutes. Probably overlay some music to it. I will hope that I will continue this thing. It's actually kind of fun. It's interesting. I don't really get to see myself in camera much. But, yeah. Like if you like it. Dislike if you dislike it. I could care less. Comment if you have something to talk about, or you want me to talk about it. Or if you just want to hear me speak. I enjoy hearing myself speak. And you don't have to subscribe. This is like one video, so I don't really care. Anyway,